All right, this deck, like many of the decks we play on this channel, is a viewer submission. The viewer asked, can we try and combine Swain along with Soraka? So one of the challenges with this pairing is that Soraka in the past in other shells has had a struggle leveling up consistently in decks that don't self-damage their units. And while we don't have the Bilgewater self-damage units, we do have some things that self-damage in this deck. So we've got Demolitionist here, which deals 1 damage to one of our things. And then we've got 3 copies of Crimson Awakener here, which deals 1 damage to everything when it's summoned. We've also got staples like Broadback Protector that allow us to stabilize against aggro while also self-damaging to let Soraka heal him. And Broadback Protector is notably very nice because it enables both of our champions. When this deals damage to itself, that counts as non-combat damage towards Swain's level up as well. Swain levels on the back of things like Broadback, Crimson. We have Leviathans here at the top end. We've got some Noxian Fervor. This card's very good at leveling Swain. It gets you, 6 of that 12 damage that you need to deal outside of combat. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games here with this and see if these two halves fit together in an okay whole or if they're a little bit clunky together. Othbur, thank you for the 3/4 of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yes, one of the many board games up there on my shelf behind me is Dice Throw. It's the box on the left there, right? The little fire die on the side. If you're one of the people that came over from Magic with me, or if you're someone that just likes good board games and you're looking for a kind of EDH type casual multiplayer card game to play, Dice Throne is really sweet for that. It's like a mashup of like a Magic style card game meets Yahtzee, where there's lots of different deck archetypes and characters to pick from, and everybody plays as a different one. And you can play like 2v2 or all single player and stuff. It's a lot of fun. Anivia, huh? So probably want to mulligan all of these, looking for some of our other cheap units. We're likely the beatdown in this matchup, so want to try and have a hand that can be as aggressive as possible. Yeah, my kids are a little bit on the young side for Dice Throne still. I imagine once we're consistently reading full sentences and more complicated words, we'll be into that. Is it worth 2 damage to let them Catalyst this turn? I think the answer is no.
For the glory of Noxus.
Could still have Avalanche up here.
We have much to teach you.
I can't
Think I just played this 2-3 rather than damaging another one of my things again. They had the Catalyst last turn and we played around it, which is nice. Broadback Protector is not great here. Soraka here lets us heal this back up above Avalanche range, which is lovely.
The spirit of winter awakens. endure.
I think they were hoping for me to play more things out last turn. We just didn't bite. Learning when to pass in this game is easily one of the most skill testing things about it. Just being like, nope, I'm ahead here. Burn your mana.
If they don't break, they'll burn.
Do they have another grasp and they just didn't play it in combat? Maybe they were worried about second Pale Cascade? This kills them through Vile Feast here, too. Well, you know. I think they were technically alive there, right? They were gonna take 2, 4, and they were going up to 5. I believe my opponent was actually at 1 there. Because my 4-1 was gonna die, and it doesn't deal a damage to them when it dies. It's a good start, though. Mulligan these two look good that can maybe self-damage here. So, like, I have the Star Shepherds with the Star Spring here, but, like, I don't have a way to get damage on my units to heal them to trigger these. Which seems like a potential problem. Okay, that's a good pickup.
I'll try anyone once. Delicious.
One of the things that's kind of neat, so we've been talking about the top 32 deck list from the North America seasonal tournament, and there was almost a completely even split between aggro, combo, and control in the decks that ended up being played in that tournament. Control was 31%, aggro was 28%, and mid-range was 40%.
For the Empire.
Which is one of my favorite things in general about Runeterra. They do such a good job of maintaining not only just deck diversity, but also archetype diversity being important as well. It's not terrible.
It's a big responsibility to shepherd stars.
It could technically be 2-2-1, but yeah, very likely 3-2-1.
Strike at their foundations.
Would a mushroom help?
Could see Troll Chant here. But even if they Troll Chant, this will still get damage marked on it, which means Star Spring will get to start doing its thing, which is nice. This is my 5/5 for 4. That makes my 1-drops huge. So these will be each be 8/3s here in a second. Got me. Alright, 6 threes it is. 14 pup caps in deck.
Better bleed.
Alright, back to 8 threes.
We're all family here.
I think I just open attacks here so they can't put Sajani down. Because if I like play Swain and they Sajani me, I end up kind of sad.
I'm a peddler, not a meddler.
Not a bad
Would a
one.
mushroom help?
This Noxian Fervor will be able to level my Swain, which is great.
Ouch! Oopsie.
Born a patrician, I became a soldier.
Okay, I assume they're about to load 16 more puff caps into our deck here, make their top monster stronger.
This would be
If we can fade them drawing the thing they've been powering up with this for like one more turn, we'll be in a great spot. If they draw a fat Dorko next turn, we could be in a lot of trouble though.
You own what you take.
So if I do this, Sajani ends up stunned and Swain is leveled.
victory at any cost.
So the first one here on their 3/3 levels the Swain, and then the second one goes to their dome and triggers Swain, stunning their strongest back row enemy unit.
Vermin. Real tough, aren't you?
I'm just going to 6 here. That is exactly what I wanted for Christmas. If they don't have,
Must be me.
they don't have a way to frostbite or block this. They have both. Yikes. Probably dead here at this point.
I need the reputation.
My legacy.
An auspicious son, Clara. We have much to teach you.
I can't
Much
wait.
to teach you.
It's nothing personal.
Stay back.
Look what you.
I know not getting hard landmark removal feels a bit awkward. Nah, I don't think so. Decks aren't really mono Iona, so like, so long as every other region has hard mana, that seems fine. Star Spring so far feeling a bit awkward in my deck that doesn't have a lot of self-damage in it. I doing? I'm doing all right, Caperly. So discard aggro here. I think I'm mulliganing all of these. We'll keep Crimson Curator, looking for some of our 2-mana 2/3s here. We won't have a way to use the trigger on this, but we'll probably play this out on 2 just to have board presence. Want to block early and often in this matchup. I think I still just play this out. I think I just want as many bodies in play as possible, as fast as possible.
Everyone bleeds for the right price.
I mean, random 8/3s also just aren't very good.
It's nothing personal.
Would you rather they print more counterspells, or is that not a great mechanic? Well, it's important to note that because you can't respond to units and you can't respond to spells, you'll never have a situation like you do in Magic quite frequently, where you have decks that all they do is counter everything someone plays. So that type of feel bad just isn't possible in Runeterra by virtue of how the game is designed.
You for the many.
Let's do this.
If they don't break, they'll burn.
I also think restricting counter spells to just one particular region's also probably fine.
We shall weave our own destiny.
I stand for Noxus.
Hush is a good pickup against that idiot.
You must get by these first.
This is gonna hurt for you.
Seem like pretty good blocks for us overall here. Oh, they have vision?
Time for the moneymakers.
No, they're just killing us. Hush, little crowd favorite, don't say a word. Soraka's gonna punch you in the throat. Okay. I mean, all things considered, that turn went pretty well for us. Next turn, we can either take a hit for 3 or get a chump in. We can deploy some Crimson Curators and then curve into an Awakener. A Hush falls over the crowd favorite.
Watch and learn.
I think I'm just taking the hit for 3 here. I have like 4 life gain rolled up in my hand potentially.
Have the name. I need the reputation.
Rules are made to be broken. Like buildings or people.
You should try blinking sometime.
It's good. It's good advice. So, Crimson Awakener next turn will kill this, but it'll draw us 2 cards off of these, which seems great.
Not all of us are immortal.
Everyone's just working to get their hand empty so they can flip their Jinx, I assume. This is going to deal 4 non-combat damage, 3 non-combat damage. Maybe people empty their hands here. They have a Rummage, they can flip Jinx, right? Rummage Vision. Yep.
You must teach me when you have time.
I'll think about it.
So, When she attacks, she levels. I could also just play Starspring, though. Oh, Vision is so good, chat. Alright, I think we're just playing Starspring. This levels her and then draws a card.
For Noxus.
I gotta work with this joker.
I use my own. Take heart. Live with purpose.
Yeah, Riot seems to have this really weird kink about designing their games with fun in mind. It's really strange coming from other card games.
Routes closed.
I'm rich!
Your path ends here.
Real tough, aren't you?
Routes closed. Your path ends here.
So let's do this. And then let's do this.
Routes closed.
And then let's Noxian Fervor here. This isn't amazing, but it kind of stabilizes us a little bit. I want to Fervor the one with 3 toughness, so that way they can't Mystic Shot me in response. They can Get Excited me in response.
Live with purpose.
Beal's dead man. Let's try 1 or 2 more with Swain, but
In their hearts.
I might actually swap him to Vlad. The Swain part of this deck doesn't have any synergy with what's going on here. Like, he's like a generically good card, but like, it feels real out of place at the top end of what else is going on here. Vlad would give us a way to put damage onto our Crimson, which would be nice. Rocket Kench, but we don't have any hard removal, which probably makes this a very difficult matchup. Our Star Springs are much slower than theirs. Because we don't have cards like these.
My family, my bloodkin.
I mean, like, don't be a typical card gamer and be like, Jeff, why is there top end in your deck? You don't get to your top end against the aggro decks you've played against. Like, put a little bit of critical thought into what you're saying. I'm not playing Leviathan in my deck for the discard aggro matchup, chat.
You must teach me.
You play Leviathan for the mid-range and control matchups. It's three copies. It's less than 10% of my deck is dedicated to top end.
Yeah, whatever.
In a game where you're guaranteed to get a mana every turn, having some 8-drops and some top end in your deck is super reasonable.
Let us peruse this establishment's fare. So what's in store for me, Neymar?
I need time for commune, Tom. This you know.
Try to understand. I matter, you don't.
I don't think it's unreasonable to say that, on average, the Crimson cards are not stellar. They're definitely an acquired taste.
You had your chance to walk away.
When a game references ally, does that mean champions and followers? It does, Harlequin. So some cards will specifically reference one type of ally or the other. If it just says ally generically, it means either. Ally is friendly unit.
Appetizers are plenty.
Fear the power you do not see.
We're all family here.
It's nothing personal.
There is assistant. This is outrage. There is assistant.
Okay. I think I just want to hold up fervor here, so if they try and eat, we can kill this in response, potentially. So far, it's felt a bit disjointed, Alfanda.
I need my own.
How did you get to know so much about stars, Soraka?
Well, it's a long story.
There's a good chance they just don't eat this turn and they let their Star Spring heal this. Hey, thanks for the 14 months, Luna Hero. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I think Runeterra's got a bright future. I'm happy to be here early. How greedy are you, opponent?
I feel better when you feel
Not greedy at all. We needed them to be greedy, chat. So their Star Spring's at 8, ours is at 3.
There's a meal.
Okay, so if I hush this, it dies and I keep my Swain, but I don't get my 5-drop back, I believe is how this works. Yes. Okay. Why does it die? Because hushing it wipes off all of its bonus toughness. Alright, let's make some changes to this deck. Duaneanto, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Let's try some Vlad Soraka, because if we're gonna meme, let's meme all the way. Okay, so there's Vladimir. That also lets us cut Noxian Fervor and play some copies of... Oh, we should play Transfusion, right? That sounds lovely. We can play some Culling Strike in here, too. I think this card's very reasonable in the format in general. Spoony Power, thanks for the 6 months. Welcome back. Do I need Broadback Protector? I feel like I probably don't. Dare Hulk. Even giving out his money probably gets him closer to achieving complete dominion over all of us for some time, but here it is. Listen, the Amazonification of the world is an eventuality. We all just have to accept it. It is what it is what it is. Goat, just another cheap aggro unit. Is there another 1-drop I can play in this deck? The original submission had Gift Giver in it. That might be fine. Gift Giver is a card that we can play on 1 to play Demolitionist on 2, which is nice. Oh, I think you're right, Strawman. Yeah, you're totally right. The opponent missed it, but I missed it too. Yeah, I didn't really want to cut Broadback. The question is, what do I want to put in its place? I'm already at 40. I mean, this is fine. How many units? I got 24 units. It's a little low on the unit count. We could just play Solari Soldier as a good 1-drop. That's true. And I probably want to cut one of these Infinite 2s. Maybe I don't need all of these if we're playing all the Pale Cascades. Is Starspring actually good here? Starspring was like pretty mediocre in that set so far. Is Soraka good enough without Starspring? Let's find out. She might not be playable without Starspring. Hey, Thinky Elephant, thanks for dropping into a live one. Yeah, I'm interested to see how the just highlights only YouTube channel does. It's up to over 700 subscribers already, so it'll be interesting to see where that tops out at. I mean, yep. It's just called Hoaglandian Highlights.
Oh, I can't wait.
Hoaglandia Highlights. Channel technically doesn't have a URL yet. It has to be up for a month to get a URL. There's no reason not to attack there.
Savior worlds, we speak with blades.
So if I play this, they get to eat this with Fiora. But playing this keeps these at home.
Advent, come here, handsome.
Hello,
If I just pass, my Pale Cascade doesn't get to draw a card, and then they could just hook this with one of these.
Is that all?
Seems like a mediocre spot for us regardless. I guess this card's not very good if we don't have Starspring.
Ours is the one true light.
Never again will Dragonfire.
I found my family, my bloodkin.
Punish transgressions.
Sharp blade, sharp mind.
I mean, to be fair, most decks weren't playing Icequake 0. The Icequakes you see get played are people casting Trundle's Champion spell. I agree that 8/8's probably reasonable and we'll see play, but I think it's much more nuanced than this replaces a card that's not actually seeing play. His opponent is Shyvana Oriental Fiora. I think there was a copy of this in the top 32 of the regional tournament for NA.
Got your back.
Oh, he doesn't have Regenerate until he levels up? God, this card. Oh, Vlad.
Remember the objectives. For the glory of Noxus.
Sunwards.
Osu can sniff out any star anywhere.
The more we learn, the less we fear.
I'd never.
Vlad is not a seed effect.
Where can I find a full body?
What is this?
Strength through suffering.
Okay, if this survives, we get to level our championship.
Kneel before me.
Kneel before Vlad.
How marvelous!
He's leveled, now what? Please hold, I will let you know.
Let me show you what I can do.
Blood isn't a toy, dear. People are.
Blood isn't a toy, people are. Happy to pass the turn.
Bless the faithful and sear the heretics.
Got heretics to sear over there, opponent.
I'm something of an aspiring trichologist.
I love a man with style.
Heard it all before.
The original goal/idea of this deck. It didn't really have one. It was just play specific champions.
Let's see what they're made of. Let it flow.
Back later.
I'm a coffee guy. I am not. I don't do much caffeine in general. I occasionally drink tea and sparingly drink soda, but no coffee or energy drinks. Okay, I mean, all things considered, we're ahead on board and ahead on life total. Our opponent just has 4 cards in hand in their Oriental deck. This is the other part too, right? Like we have a champion. This champion costs 5 mana. He's difficult to level, and then he doesn't win the game after we have him in play for a couple of turns. So it's like he was tough to get to, and then also didn't do a lot once we had him. Sody pop. You just call it Coke where you're from? Coca-Cola. He's not that difficult to level. Your deck is generally built in a specific way. The deck building cost associated with leveling Vlad is real. You're right that if you concede and have that deck building cost built into what you're doing, it's not hard if your deck's built around it. Good morning, Bob. Howdy, Grimjows.
Ours is the one true light.
I never.
Devotion to battle.
Yeah, some kind of frail Vlad deck could potentially be very reasonable with the new cards for sure.
Bless the faithful and fear the heretics.
This looks like a heretic to me, chat. Get it seared. Sear right off, opponent.
It's a big responsibility to shepherd stars.
Huh?
We look after our own.
Punish transgressions.
It's like an okay attack. Not amazing, but like solidly okay. Sure, we'll take that trade. I had to play my tricks proactively like that because gems can't be played inside of combat.
You are the many.
I'll make corpses of them all.
I think if they wanted to keep Vlad's design approximately where he is right now, I think the next change you do to him is just make him cheaper. Just like subtract 1 and subtract 1 probably.
Bullet to the face.
My sweet little plaything.
That's probably where you start.
Cowards!
Yeah, you could baseline regen him. That would probably be another one that would be fine. Just like make him a 5/5 with regen from the start. Could also be super okay.
Hello, my darling.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal.
Let's see.
Do 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 do.
I know what I'm doing.
Wow! Holy crap. Well,
Keep firing till they're dead on the ground. My kind of plan. War Mason, reporting for duty.
I think we might have died, chat. I think we might have died.
Set sail. I've got us covered.
Such a pretty thing.
Don't worry, chat. I get to level Vlad now. We got him. Help! Level Vlad. Got him. But we can't win no more.
Glory of Noxus.
Leveled our champion.
My glory.
Explosives primed.
Ahmed Ben, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
Every step, a new journey.
Home off.
Why aren't they conceding after we leveled Braum? Vlad asking the real questions. Okay.
Don't break, they'll burn. A few for the many.
Okay, Soraka. Damn it, Bobby.
Let's see what they're made of.
By the power of the stars.
Why'd they play a good card? I'm only playing Vlad. You're not allowed to play good cards. Do I have any direct damage in my deck? I don't think we do, right? Like, there's no Mystic Shots or Death's Hands or anything?
It's closed.
After all these centuries.
Baron is like a champion that's always level 2. That's a good way to put him.
Such hatred in their hearts.
So, Soraka and cards. This card continues to be super underwhelming and kind of awkward in any shell that doesn't have a lot of self-damaging in it. So, the only shells I've played to date with Soraka that feel somewhat reasonable are obviously the Soraka Kench matchup, where you have those Bilgewater self-damage units, the cheap ones in there that work really well with her, as well as we played some Ember Maiden variations with her that aren't quite as competitive, but are still somewhat reasonable. The Nice Twin, thank you for the 10 months of Prime, really appreciate that. Welcome back. Nova Mage, thanks for the follow. So, overall, I think part of the issue is, like, not only is Vlad just weak and Swain didn't synergize well, but the Crimson package just isn't very good. Like, they nerfed this at one point because the amount of reach that it had capable of, and the rest of these cards just haven't, like, this card could probably be a 3/4 and still be fine, but just like what we're doing overall here, like, we had two halves that weren't particularly synergistic together as a whole, and each individual half also wasn't particularly powerful. So, like, this wasn't, to make a different comparison, like, the Daybreak Swain deck, those two parts aren't particularly synergistic, but they're just good. They're just good on their own. Yeah, the cards Curator is creating aren't super high quality. So even though he generates some card advantage, it's not worth a full card what he produces in most situations, right? All right, since it's already 1:45, I'm not going to try and squeeze in a third deck today. I'm just going to go ahead and be done for the morning. Thanks everybody for dropping in. I appreciate the new follows and all the returning viewers. If you're new to the channel, I'm here live 6 to 7 days a week. I do Runeterra stuff in the morning on most days. I also do variety stuff in the evenings. I also have a YouTube channel where I post a daily highlight video that's less than a half hour of a sweet different deck that we've played each day throughout the week that week. I'll be back tonight with the variety segment. We're going to be starting Infamous Second Sons on the PS5 tonight. So I'll be back tomorrow morning with some more Runeterra. And remember, if you want my thoughts on the different spoilers that have come out, I'm going to post the thoughts on the spoiler cards that got posted today to that YouTube playlist here momentarily. So everybody stay safe out there, and hopefully see some of you back again tomorrow morning or this evening.